You ever wake up already feeling behind? Like your mind's racing before your feet even hit the ground? That's not how we're supposed to start the day, and deep down, you know it. But what if I told you there's a way to wake up with power, focus, and peace every single morning? Not some trend, not some hack, but a timeless morning routine built by warriors, emperors, and philosophers who face more chaos than we'll ever know. This is the Stoic Morning, and today, I'm going to show you 7 things you should do every morning straight from the minds of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus so you can build discipline, clarity, and resilience that lasts. Let's start with number 1. 1. Practice. Morning reflection. Before you check your phone at the moment you wake up, your mind is still calm, almost untouched by the world. That's a sacred moment. Don't throw it away by diving into Instagram or email. Instead, take a few minutes to reflect. Marcus Aurelius started every day by reminding himself of one thing. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, I will meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. Why? Not to be negative, but to prepare. He was reminding himself, today will have challenges, and I am ready. So take 5 minutes, sit, breathe, think, ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What challenges might I face, and how will I respond with strength? Doing this keeps your emotions grounded. You're no longer reacting, you're leading. 2. Reconnect with nature, even if it's just sunlight. Seneca wrote that we must take a walk outdoors, so that the mind can be strengthened by the open air and the deep breathing. Nature clears the noise. In modern life, we're bombarded by messages, screens, demands. Even just stepping outside, looking at the sky, or breathing in fresh air tells your nervous system, you're safe, you're grounded. You don't need a forest. You don't need a hike. Just walk to the balcony, step onto the porch, feel the wind, the warmth, the reality of the present moment. The Stoics weren't locked in rooms thinking all day. They moved, they walked, they observed the world around them. Epictetus said, we should take care of the body as if it were a mere vessel, but never ignore it. So start your day with light, with movement, with presence. Even 2 minutes of sunlight in your eyes can help reset your circadian rhythm and regulate your sleep, mood, and focus. 3. Journal. Like a philosopher, most people journal to vent, but the Stoics journaled to strengthen the soul. Marcus Aurelius' Meditations was never meant to be published. It was his private journal. Each page was a reminder to stay calm, to be just, to stay true. In the morning, your journal is a weapon. Write down what you fear, what you hope for, what behavior from yesterday you want to improve today. Seneca often reminded himself that each day could be his last, not to be morbid, but to live better. You can write, if this were my last day, what would I do differently? What small virtue can I practice today? Patience, courage, honesty. Journaling isn't about perfection. It's about clarity. It's a mirror for the mind. You will see yourself, and through that, you will shape yourself. 4. Visualize obstacles. Negative visualization. This might sound strange, but the Stoics often began their day by imagining the worst, not to attract it, but to prepare for it. It's called premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils. Seneca said, he robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. Let's say you've got a big meeting. You imagine, what if the Wi-Fi goes down? What if I get challenged? Or what if I don't get the deal? And then you ask, can I still act with character no matter what? This isn't pessimism, it's armor. You imagine the loss so that if it happens, it doesn't break you. You prepare for pain so that when it comes, you don't panic. Try this in the morning. What can go wrong today? And then answer, how will I handle it with strength and composure? This simple practice rewires your brain. Instead of fearing the unknown, you walk into the day ready for battle. 5. Set a clear intention. Stoicism is not about thinking, it's about doing. All the reflection, all the journaling, it means nothing without action. So once you've grounded yourself, set your mission, pick one virtue to focus on, one priority that must be completed. Ask, what's my duty today? What must be done regardless of how I feel? Marcus Aurelius wrote, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. That's a man who ruled an empire, and still, he needed to remind himself of his duty. So don't wait for motivation. Decide. Commit. The modern world is full of distractions, but the Stoic mind is laser focused. Don't try to do everything. Pick one thing. Do it with excellence. You'll build discipline faster through one completed task than 10 abandoned ones. 6. Embrace discomfort, early cold showers, early alarms, saying no to the snooze button. These are not just trends, they're tools. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why? Because growth demands discomfort. You grow by stepping into difficulty, not away from it. The Stoics believe that voluntary discomfort trains the soul, so each morning, ask, what can I do today that's uncomfortable but good for me? Maybe it's running when you want to sleep. Maybe it's fasting when you want to eat. Maybe it's having the hard conversation you've been avoiding. Each act of discomfort sharpens your will, and the stronger your will, the less the world can shake you. 7. Review your identity. Not just your goals. Share something most self-help advice misses. It's not just about what you do. It's about who you are. Stoicism isn't about checking off a to-do list. It's about becoming a certain kind of person, a person who keeps their word, a person who acts with justice, a person who, even in pain, chooses wisdom over impulse. Seneca wrote, you become what you give your attention to. So every morning, ask yourself, what kind of person am I becoming? Are you becoming more reactive or more reflective, more distracted or more disciplined, more fearful or more courageous? When you start your day with who you are, the what you do becomes easy, because your actions flow from your identity, and Stoicism teaches us, character is fate. Let that sink in. We're just getting started. Now that you understand the 7 core practices of a Stoic morning, let's go deeper, because knowing these principles isn't the same as living them. And if you want your mornings to actually transform your life, not just feel inspiring for 5 minutes, then repetition, discipline, and mindset are everything. Let's break down how to implement each of these practices in a real-world, modern context. We're going to explore how entrepreneurs, creatives, athletes, and everyday high achievers use these Stoic routines to stay grounded, focused, and resilient even when life gets chaotic. Let's start where most people fall short: consistency. Over-intensity. One of the biggest mistakes people make when building a morning routine is trying to do too much at once. They wake up on Monday and try to meditate, journal, run 5,000, drink green juice, write affirmations, and read 20 pages all before 7 a.m., and by Wednesday, they've quit. Seneca said, nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart, but that same heart must also be disciplined. Start small. Pick just one of the Stoic morning practices. Do it for a week, then add another. You're building a lifestyle, not chasing a dopamine hit. Let's revisit morning reflection. If your mornings feel chaotic, don't blame the outside world. You are the gatekeeper of your first thoughts. One powerful habit: keep a Stoic quote by your bed. Read it the moment you wake up. It could be something like this from Marcus Aurelius: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Read that before your phone, before the news, before the chaos. It's not about the quote, it's about the anchor. You're anchoring your mind to reason instead of reaction, nature, and movement. The forgotten. But so many of us wake up and go straight into artificial light, digital noise, and cramped rooms. Your body wasn't made for that. Even 5 minutes of walking, stretching, or standing outside can completely shift your chemistry. Entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs were known for taking long walks to clear their minds. Why? Because movement unlocks thought. Seneca once said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Stop wasting your life indoors, motionless. Start the day with your feet on the earth, not just your hands on the keyboard. Go outside. Feel alive. Again, you don't need nature to be perfect. You just need to be present. Stoic journaling. Make it simple. You don't have to be a great writer. You don't even have to write full sentences. Journaling like a Stoic is about clarity, not creativity. Try this every morning. One fear you have, one thing you're grateful for, one virtue you want to practice today. That's it. Done consistently. This reshapes your mental wiring. Instead of waking up anxious or distracted, you wake up intentional, and over time, those pages become your map. You'll start to see patterns in your thinking. You'll spot excuses, habits, beliefs, and you'll take your power back. Remember, Marcus Aurelius wrote for himself, not for views, not for likes, for truth. Negative visualization, a daily rehearsal for strength as one takes courage. But the people who succeed, who rise under pressure, don't just hope for the best. They train for the worst. Picture this, you've got a huge presentation. Instead of obsessing over what could go right, you spend 3 minutes imagining, what if I freeze? What if someone interrupts me? What if my slides crash? Then you ask, how do I choose to respond? Not how do I panic, not how do I escape, but how do I respond with virtue? This mental rehearsal doesn't make you paranoid. It makes you bulletproof. So when the worst does happen, it feels like deja vu because you've been here before mentally and you're already ready. Set your intention. Don't let the day choose for you. Too many people let the day happen to them. They wait for direction. They wait for a feeling. But the Stoic decides. Before the world shouts its demands, you whisper your mission. Ask, what matters most today? That one question can change everything. Don't start your day chasing tasks. Start it with one anchor. I will act with courage. I will speak with honesty. I will lead with compassion. It's not just motivational fluff, it's guidance. Every decision you face that day is filtered through that one lens. It's what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, waste no more time arguing. What a good man should be one. Discomfort is a training ground, not a punishment. There's where most people quit. They think discomfort is a sign something's wrong. But Stoics saw it as a signal that something's right, that you're growing. Seneca deliberately slept on the floor some nights to remind himself, I can endure discomfort. I don't fear poverty. I am free. You don't have to go that far, but you can choose to walk instead of drive. Fast until lunch. Take a cold shower. Speak up when you want to stay silent. Each of these acts reinforces one truth. You are stronger than you think. The more you lean into discomfort by choice, the less control it has over you by force. Identity greater than productivity. This is huge. Most people wake up thinking about what they have to do, but Stoics woke up thinking about who they want to become. Don't just ask, what's on my calendar today? Ask, what would the best version of me do today? Because that's who you're building brick by brick. You're not just building a business, a body, or a brand. You're building a soul, and that takes intention. That takes honesty. That takes asking hard questions like, am I being led by ego or by principle? Am I chasing success or living with virtue? The answers won't always be easy, but they'll be real, and they'll guide you toward a life that's not just productive but meaningful. Real life example, the CEO who journals like a philosopher furthers. A story of a high-powered executive who felt completely overwhelmed. Deadlines, employees, meetings, travel. He started waking up early, journaling for 10 minutes and setting one virtue to live by. Day 1, patience. He didn't feel patient, but he kept reminding himself throughout the day, what would a patient leader do here? By the end of the week, he wasn't just calmer, his team noticed. They said, you're different, you're clearer. That's the power of a Stoic morning. It doesn't just change how you feel. It changes who you are. The Stoic morning is a form of freedom. Let's be clear. You will face resistance. There will be mornings you want to quit, days you feel like none of this is working. But Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. There must be time. You're not chasing motivation. You're building momentum. Each morning is a vote for strength over weakness, for character over comfort, for wisdom over impulse. And those votes add up until one day you wake up and realize you're no longer trying to live like a Stoic. You are one. Let's now turn theory into lifestyle, because the Stoics weren't interested in abstract wisdom. They believed philosophy was medicine for the soul, something that must be practiced daily, not just read or admired. Your morning routine is where that practice starts. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up consistently, intentionally, with your eyes open and your values clear. So how do we make sure these 7 Stoic habits stick? Habit 1, stack it with what you already do and try to reinvent your entire morning. Just attach one Stoic habit to something you already do. For example, if you already make coffee every morning, use that 5 minutes while it brews to do your morning reflection. Or, while brushing your teeth, mentally repeat a Stoic quote. This is called habit stacking. You're not creating time, you're redeeming time, because the truth is, you already have time. The question is, what are you doing with it? Habit 2, make it visual. Create visible reminders. Put a sticky note on your bathroom mirror that says, you have power over your mind. Or on your front door, today, I will act with courage. These cues help anchor your thoughts before the world pulls you into chaos. Even Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, had to remind himself daily, Don't waste what's left of your life if he needed that. What makes us think we don't? Habit 3. Keep it short and sustainable. Your morning routine doesn't need to take an hour. Start with 10 minutes, maybe 2 minutes of silence, 3 minutes of journaling, 5 minutes of walking or stretching. That's enough. Don't overthink it. Seneca warned about people who chased useless knowledge instead of useful wisdom. You don't need more steps. You need more intention. The Stoic formula for action is revisit something Marcus Aurelius wrote that can revolutionize your mornings. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? This question cuts through the noise. It clears your path. It helps you focus on what actually matters. You don't need to answer 100 emails before sunrise. You don't need to sprint into productivity to feel worthy. You need to align your actions with your values. Because when you do that, even small actions become powerful. Modern example, the athlete who embraced Stoic morning shares a UFC fighter who credits Stoicism for his comeback. He had lost major fights in a row, fell into depression. Then, he picked up Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, started journaling, started meditating, and every morning, he asked himself, if I lose again, can I still be proud of my effort? That shift changed everything. He stopped obsessing over outcomes and focused on character. The next fight, he didn't just win, he fought with peace, because he had already won the morning. Remember, virtue is a daily choice that you don't become disciplined once and for all. You become disciplined every morning. You don't become courageous once. You choose courage again and again, especially when it's hard. That's the Stoic way. And mornings are your testing ground. That's when it's easiest to lie to yourself, to stay in bed, to skip the journal, to tell yourself, tomorrow I'll be better. But tomorrow doesn't build you. Today does. Build a morning wall against calls. Think of your Stoic routine as a wall, not to block out the world, but to stand firm in it. The moment you leave your room, you'll face unpredictability. Emails, traffic, people's moods, financial, stress. You can't control any of that, but you can control how you enter that world. Are you calm? Are you clear? Did you prepare your mind, or just hope the day would be easy? Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Even if your morning starts with struggle, use it. That's the path. That's the point. Use affirmations, but make them Stoic. Affirmations can work if they're grounded. Don't just say, I am powerful. Say, I can endure what I must. I can respond with reason. That's Stoic confidence. It's not ego, it's preparation. Write your own personal Stoic affirmation. Repeat it each morning. Keep it real. Keep it strong. Examples. I face this day with courage and calm. No matter what happens, I will not betray my values. Today, I will not be mastered by my emotions. That's how you build identity, not just motivation. Let go of what you can't control. This is the golden rule of Stoicism. Focus only on what's within your control, your thoughts, your actions, your effort. Let the rest go. Seneca put it best. Make yourself master of what you can control, and you'll be free. So when you wake up, your mind starts spinning. Pause, ask, what's really in my control today? My attitude, my response, my effort. Everything else is noise. Don't carry the weight of things you were never meant to hold. Breathe. With awareness. This sounds simple, but don't skip it. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is controlled breathing. You don't need incense. You don't need mantras. You just need to pay attention. Try this. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Repeat for 2 minutes. That's it. You're calming your nervous system. You're building space between thought and reaction. And that's exactly what the Stoics aimed for. To pause, to think, then to act not impulsively, but wisely. You are always practicing something. Here's something Epictetus said that hits hard. Every habit, a faculty, is preserved and increased by corresponding actions. Which means, if you practice distraction in the morning, you get better at being distracted. If you practice rushing, you get better at rushing. But if you practice stillness, gratitude, courage, focus, that becomes who you are. So ask yourself, what am I rehearsing every morning? Because every day, you're casting votes for the person you're becoming. Final reminder, you are not powerless. There are going to be days you fail. You'll sleep in, skip your journal, snap at someone. It happens. The Stoics never asked for perfection. They asked for progress. Seneca said, even if you lose ground today, you must resume the journey tomorrow. So don't quit when you stumble. Return to the path. Return to yourself. That's what the morning is for. Not to show off, not to impress anyone, but to realign with your values, to remember who you are. So now you know the 7 powerful things you should do every morning rooted in timeless Stoic wisdom. But let me leave you with something deeper. The Stoic morning routine isn't about being productive. It's not just about checking off habits or winning the day. It's about preparing your soul. It's about entering life each day not as a victim of circumstances, but as a student of reality. Marcus Aurelius faced plagues, betrayal, war, and the weight of ruling Rome. And yet, every morning, he reminded himself, this is what I'm here for. That's what we forget. You're not here to coast. You're here to live with intention, to choose how you show up, to turn every morning into a sacred opportunity, to remember you are in control of your actions. You are in control of your choices. And no matter how hard life gets, you are never powerless. Let's recap the 7 things you should do every morning Stoic style. Practice morning reflection. Set your emotional tone before the world does. Reconnect with nature. Ground yourself in something real. Journal like a philosopher. Gain clarity over your thoughts and actions. Visualize obstacles. Prepare your mind for whatever may come. Set a clear intention. Decide who you'll be today, not just what you'll do. Embrace discomfort early. Train your will to endure and even thrive. Review your identity. Align every action with the person you want to become. These aren't rules. They're reminders, and when lived consistently, they don't just change your mornings, they change your life, because every morning, you wake up with 2 choices: to be pulled by the world, or to lead yourself. The Stoics chose leadership of the self. That meant silence before noise, discipline before emotion, virtue before convenience. You can't control how other people treat you, but you can control how you respond. You can't control what the economy does, but you can control your character in the face of uncertainty. That's the difference between reacting and living deliberately, and the beautiful part, you get to begin again every day. You're never more than one sunrise away from a better path, from clarity, from strength, from becoming the person you know you're capable of being. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Start with presence. Start with intention. Start now. Maybe you'll stumble. Maybe you'll forget. But the Stoics would tell you failure doesn't define you. Returning to your principles does. And that's what this routine is really about. Your morning is the forge. It's where you shape the armor you'll wear through the chaos of life. It's where you sharpen your perspective, your peace, and your purpose. So treat it with reverence. Imagine the kind of person you'll be after a month of living this way. A year, 5 years. You'll be unshakable, not perfect, just prepared, not emotionless, but emotionally wise. And more than anything, you'll be free from the need for external validation, free from panic, free from the fear of not being in control. Because you'll already know you're in control of the only thing that matters, yourself. Now, before we wrap this up, I want to ask you something personal. If this video sparked something in you, if it helped you reflect, reset, or even just breathe a little deeper, then take a moment right now and click the like button. It's a small gesture, but it tells the algorithm that this message matters. More importantly, it helps this kind of wisdom reach someone else who might need it today. And if you're serious about living with clarity, discipline, and strength, if you want more videos like this, more philosophy that feels real, then hit that subscribe button and join the community. We're not here for surface level hype. We're here to go deep, to grow, and to rise together. Oh, and before you go, there's another video on screen right now that I know you're going to love. It'll take you even further down this path of self-mastery and ancient wisdom. Click it now, and I'll see you there. Take care, and remember, you have power over your mind. Use it well.